about to share with you right now, if they would have told me 10 years ago, I would have said, hokey, ridiculous, no way. But I'm telling you, nothing's had a bigger impact on myself and my children than what I'm about to share with you right now, and you can master it in 5 minutes or less. So I'm an endurance athlete. I know I don't look like it, whoever said it. Jerk. A couple of years ago, I was training for a race called the Last Man Standing. Here's the format of the race. So it's a 4-mile loop, 4.2-mile loop. You get an hour to complete. If you finish that loop in under an hour, say 50 minutes, you get a 10-minute rest. Then they line you up at the starting line at the top of the hour to run that loop again. And they repeat that process over and over and over until one person is left standing. The last man standing. The race can go on for days. So during my training, I did 10 training runs of 38 miles. Not bad for a guy in his 50s, but 38 miles isn't gonna get you very far in a race like this. And then I heard a podcast. I heard about a Navy SEAL on a podcast named Chad Wright, talking about how he met a kid that had only run 5 miles, longest run in his whole life, at the starting line of a 100-mile race, and took him all the way to the finish line by having him repeat over and over, I will not quit, I will not quit, I will not quit. I'm like, that's impossible, man. I've been running my whole life. You can't 20x your longest run by saying I won't quit. But this guy's a Navy SEAL on a highly reputable podcast. I doubt he's lying. So I cold call him. Create your own luck. I get him on the phone. I tell him my problem, man. I'm stuck at 38 miles. He says, brother, I can solve that for you in 2 days, man. See, Chad is a Navy SEAL from the backwoods of North Georgia. He got a beard down here like he's in ZZ Top. He's covered in head to toe in violent tattoos. And he has a look in his eye like he's seen some stuff in the military that nobody in this room wants to see. So he comes to my house a week later. My friends are calling me up. They're like, did you change your cadence? Are you eating differently? I'm like, no. He hasn't said a word to me. They're like, what? I'm like, I know. He's sitting in the corner of the room, stroking his beard, staring at me, hysterically laughing. They're like, what? I'm like, yes, and he's spooky. This is Chad Wright.
Oh my.
So my wife comes downstairs. She goes, Jess, can I talk to you for a second? She goes, sweetie, where did you meet Chad? I told her the truth, on the internet. So that night, we're at dinner and Chad finally speaks. He says, Jesse, tomorrow we're gonna start at 0500, man. We're gonna meet in the kitchen at 0500, but we're gonna meet at 4:45 and go over the game plan. Man, we're gonna sit for 15 minutes? Man, this is ridiculous. The next morning we get to my breakfast table. He says, Jesse, today we're gonna do 3 things and 3 things only, man. And if you do these 3 things, you're gonna shatter your 38 miles. He said, the first thing we're gonna do is we're never gonna give our pain a voice. What does that mean, Chad? He said, man, I know you're gonna be thinking, this is hard, I'm tired, I got blisters, or in your case, competition's tough, rates are high, the market's really strong, not strong, and really, I know we're gonna have these thoughts, but we're never gonna speak those words. Because if we speak those words, we give them power. If I ask you how you feel today, your only answer is outstanding. How do you feel? Outstanding. How do you feel? Outstanding. How do you feel? Outstanding. Number 2, we're never gonna die in the chair. What does that mean, Chad? He said, man, we're never gonna come back after one of these loops, sit down in the chair and be like, this is hard, I'll quit. Today, we're taking quitting off the table. Either you pour your soul and empty the tank into what you do today and it doesn't work, or you shatter your 38 miles. Either one is acceptable. Not everything's gonna work. But we're not gonna come back and be like, it's hard, man, we quit. And number 3, every time we come back after one of these loops, even though it's really hard in the field, by the way, No one's getting through this life unscathed. No one's gonna cruise through this life like this. I lost my dad, my sister, and my mom all in the last 2 years. It doesn't matter who you are, what you have. No one's escaping anything. No matter how hard it is, we're always gonna talk about something we're grateful for. So after every loop, man, I want you to think about one thing you're grateful for and tell me. So I did those 3 things that day, and that day, I shattered my 38 miles. Fast forward 30 days later, I'm at the start of the Hennepin 100-mile race. Chad Wright is running it with me. We get to mile 74 and I'm broken. I got 6 toenails floating around in my shoe. I have hypothermia. I'm shivering like crazy, uncontrollably. I start walking, and Chad can sense that the end is near. So he starts walking with me. He says, Jess, I'm gonna tell you something about me, man, that nobody knows. Man, it's a miracle. I never get tired. Nah, Chad, not now, man. He says, nah, man, I can't explain it either. It's the craziest thing. I never get tired. I want you to say it. But I was so broken, I couldn't say it. Nah, Chad, it would be a lie. Go ahead and say it. Fine, Chad, I never get tired. He says, nah, man, say it like you mean it. I said, fine, Chad, I never get tired. He said, I'll tell you what, man. I'm gonna let you walk a quarter mile to the aid station. When you get to the aid station, you tell them the miracle of Jesse and Chad. We stumble into the aid station. They give me a little soup. They give Chad a little Gatorade. I said to the fine volunteers, I said, ma'am, I'm Jesse. This is my good friend Chad. And this might sound crazy, but Chad and I never get tired. I look like I just got hit by a friggin' truck. She was like, excuse me? I'm like, I know, it's crazy. Chad and I never get tired. Chad grabs me by the shirt like this and he goes, let's go! Mile 75, how do you feel? I feel outstanding, Chad. 77 miles in, I don't get tired, Chad. 82 miles through the woods, nobody around, me and Chad with the headlamp. 85, 87, 89, 90, 92, 94, 95, 97, 98, 99, all the way to the finish line of a 100-mile race. The words you speak matter. The words you speak matter. The words your kids speak. The words your kids speak matter. When I was dead-ass broke, sleeping on those 18 different couches, I used to walk into my office every day, Justin, turn to my partner and say, we're millionaires. They just haven't paid us yet. We're millionaires. They just haven't paid us yet. This week, be mindful of the people in your inner circle that say, we don't come from money. We're not good at real estate. We're not good at sales. We don't run marathons. How do you feel?
Outstanding.
How do you feel?
Outstanding.
Say it again.